This is George Dionne of the Rock is George podcast, and this is a KNAC.com exclusive interview with guitarist and vocalist of the hard rock act that bears his name, Danko Jones. Today we're talking about your upcoming album, Leo Rising. It comes out on November 21st through Perception Records. This is the follow-up to your 2023 album, Electric Sounds. How soon after the release of Electric Sounds did you start writing Leo Rising?
The year after it was released.
So,
So yeah. This I can't remember when Electric Sounds was released, but I think it came out in the fall of 23. So the summer or the spring of 24 we started writing.
now I know that you and John Calabrese and Rich Knox, you're at different parts of the world. It's tough to kind of get together and write stuff, so you write separately. Was there ever an opportunity for you guys to be in the same room to write and record?
Yeah, for the last two albums, Electric Sounds and this Leo Rising album, when we're on tour, when we were on tour in the summer, JC was able to get a rehearsal place for a couple of days. The Electric Sounds, we did it in Berlin, and for Leo Rising, we did it in Zurich when we were just staying there in between shows. And this album, it didn't really yield, it only yielded one idea that made the record. Whereas Electric Sounds, I think there was four ideas, but most of the songs were written and put together by sending files to one another.
I mean, that's pretty commonplace for bands today, correct?
I don't know, but it's like demoing, like just the demo stage, but then in this we have to go into a studio to record it. So just a demo, we if we all lived in the same city, like I guess a lot of bands do, we would still be doing it the way we were always doing it, which is in a room together, but we can't do that anymore. I think most bands live in the same city. I know a lot don't, but I think most do.
So putting the pieces together, is that the role of producer Eric Ratz?
Yeah, like when we go into the studio, we're, from what I've heard, we're more the songs are more together and more watertight than most, from what I've been told. There isn't too much room for arrangement changes or complete restructuring or deleting and writing from scratch. The 11 songs we bring into the studio are usually the ones we're going to work on, if like 99.9% of the time. Uh, Arrangement wise, I think per session, Eric comes in with maybe two or three or four ideas in terms of like rearrangement, but they're usually Eric comes in with like tone arrangements and performance decisions, coaching, and I mean for guitar tones and drum tones, he's really important too.
And you've worked with him for numerous years.
Five albums.
I was going to ask you what he kind of brings to the table, but I think you really explained it right there.
Yeah, yeah. For me, guitar tones are important, and I trust Eric's ear. And then when it comes to vocals, like you have to make a record with someone you trust. And so a producer's role is really a coach, I think. Um, and so you have to be able to get along with everybody in a way. So yeah, so coaching in the studio for vocals, I trust his opinion, and he's a good coach in that way too. Like a good, I don't know what you call it, like cheerleader slash coach.
Now,
Yeah.
Danko Jones is pretty consistent in releasing new material. I'd say on average, you release a new album every 2 to 3 years. Is that important to you as an artist to not keep your fans waiting for the next thing? I mean, it sort of goes back to the 70s where we got short albums, but they came out more frequently.
Right. Well, I'm not really comfortable with the word artist. Um, and it's because I think artists have the luxury to take time off. We don't. We got to pay the rent, man. So every 2 years, you're going to get an album. Also, like, what else would we be doing? I honestly, you asked me that question because I guess most bands have the luxury to take time off no matter what their status is. I mean, if you're not the Foo Fighters or Metallica, how do you get the luxury to take X amount of time off? You should be like putting records out so you can go on tour and like live and pay the rent and pay the electric bill and pay for your car lease. I just that's what is the main uh driving force for us making records past like loving music, you know. I mean, we're 29 years into this. I have no job skills left. So this is it, man. So yeah, like it's feast. Feed. I gotta feed myself and feed everyone who's relying on me. So yeah, we just gotta pump this shit out. But of course, we have to please ourselves while we do it. So there is a, we're not just, and you just can't churn it out because no one's gonna like it. So we just do it. If we like it, then we gamble on the fact that if we like it, people will like it too. So I mean, there's tons. For every album we put out, there's 5 albums that are left lying on the cutting room floor that sucked. So it's not as if we're just churning out this stuff as quick as we can make it. But there's no time to like rest on our laurels because I don't have a double platinum record hanging up on my wall. We don't we're not that level of band, you know? I mean, I think Metallica taking 5 years off between the Black Album and the Load albums, that makes sense. You've already sold 100 million copies, or Guns N' Roses like taking decades off. They can afford that. But like bands like us, and yeah, like a lot of bands take time off. I don't. Maybe maybe they're all doctors. Like when they're not on to, I don't know what it is, but like maybe they can afford it, but I certainly can't. We can't. None of us can.
I think the a record label sometimes has a say in how long until the next album too, and I feel like you're not bound by any particular label when it comes to writing, recording, and you just need their distribution, I would say, right?
Yeah, I mean the industry's changed a lot in that sense, and I don't know that. I don't have that experience in music or being in the music industry with a record label. Like we never signed one of those deals where it's like, oh, we signed this 7 record deal with Capitol Records and man, like I just bought a Ferrari. Like that has never happened to us. I That's so foreign to me. I don't know what that even feels like. But in a situation like that, yeah, then I guess the label has more say as to when you make your music or not, and how, and what the music is, really.
Indeed. Well, let's talk a little bit about the music that you've started to release from Leo Rising. Your current single and video is Diamond in the Rough. It's a homage to Kiss, a parody of Kiss Meets the Phantom. You've spoken frequently about Kiss's influence in your music over the years. Sadly, the rock world lost Ace Frehley a couple of weeks back. Before we get into the song and the video, I wanted to know how you first discovered Kiss.
Well, I mean, my mom bought me Kiss Alive when I was 6 years old. So that's pretty much how I listened to them. Before that, what got me to want to get a record is they were everywhere. I never heard them on the radio, but you would see them in magazines and stuff, and they were a band, and I was really drawn to it because it was like, superheroes or comic book heroes, which I think a lot of the kids, back then that's why we're all Kiss fans now. And so my mom bought Kiss Alive and she said, choose one record in the Kiss bin. I remember this. So I chose Kiss Alive, not because of the cover, but because it said like there's a book, I could see there was a booklet in the sleeve. And so it was a double album. So I was getting the most for the one time she was willing to get me this album. And then there was an address on the back of the album. And so she said, if you write a letter, I'll send it in. And then I did. And I don't know, I can't remember how much time passed before I got a package from Kiss. And they could tell, obviously, a little kid wrote it. I probably wrote it in crayon or something. Anyways, they sent me like these school like folders where you can keep your school folders, and it was the double platinum and then the Kiss solo albums, and then I got 8 by 10 glossies of the band with it, and that made me a fan for life.
I think that's great that your mom bought you the album because there were some moms that thought Kiss were evil.
Oh, my parents were one of those parents. So I kept listening to that album to the point where they were getting concerned. And so they threw it out, which only made literally weeks later, not even a month passed. Um, and that made me a fan for life. If the mail didn't getting mail when you're a kid is a huge thing, but if the package I got from in the mail didn't make me a fan for life, my parents, my dad throwing it out definitely was the nail in the coffin for me being a not just a Kiss fan, but like a mu rock music fan for life, you know. They shouldn't have done that. The psychology is let the kid listen to it till they get sick of it, and they move on to like, you know, if you want the kid to, you know, get over this phase, let them listen to it till they're blue in the face and they're sick of it. But that didn't happen. So
That was my mother with Motley Crue.
yeah, man, like yeah, yeah, I get it.
So, growing up, people pick their favorite member of Kiss. Did you have a favorite member or just a fan of it all?
Yeah, well, when I was growing up, my favorite member was Ace Frehley because his Kiss solo album was the best.
Mhm.
Shock Me still my favorite Kiss song. But now Paul Stanley's my favorite Kiss member.
That second Paul Stanley solo album, Live to Win, fantastic album, front to back.
Really? Wow.
Yeah.
I love the first Paul Stanley solo album. That's after Aces, it's Paul's for me.
Had you ever opened for Kiss?
No, never.
No. Have you ever had the opportunity to meet them?
Yeah, only Gene Simmons met him in Philadelphia. Um, a long time ago. We were playing a radio event and he was hosting it. So we were able to meet him and he was really nice to us, really nice to me. So that was cool. Glad that worked out because I've heard stories where he wasn't, and that would have tainted the whole thing, but whatever. And then I met Eric Singer, if you count Eric as a member, I count him as.
Yeah.
I met him in Australia when we were on tour in Australia. So that was cool.
Tell me how the video for Diamond in the Rough came together.
Well, we don't live in the same city, and so we asked, and then to top it all off, the director we asked lives in Gothenburg, Sweden. So like, how do we do this? So JC, our bass player, he had the idea to just get a Kiss cover band to lip sync the song, and so we knew someone or someone knew someone. In fact, the band in the video, their name is Wicked Kisser. And the Paul Stanley guy is a sound man, and he's done sound for us. He did it for a weekend like years ago. And he was, I think if I'm correct, he was or is the sound man for the band Ghost. Anyways, so so that we got them Wicked Kisser. And then I'm here at home in Toronto, so I said, well, if we're getting them to, you know, lip sync it, why don't and we need a tie-in with me to be in it or to one of us to be in it. I can be the Phantom of the Park and we can turn it into this kind of parody thing and everybody went for it. We had already gone for JC's idea of the band, the lip sync band. So that kind of came together and we just quickly shot it in my living room, my parts. Um, and that's it. That's just basically how it happened. I swear, when we shot my parts, I'm like, this isn't going to work. This is so cheaply done. I mean, this is ridiculous. You could see the doorway to my kitchen in the shot. This is not going to work. But it did. We were able to cheat it.
Now, the song itself doesn't have a lot to do with Kiss, just the video, right?
Well, the song is very reminiscent of Early Kiss. I mean, if nobody's picking up on it, then good. But it is definitely reminiscent of Early Kiss. That's what I was thinking when we were writing the song, and that's why JC's idea of getting a Kiss cover band to lip sync it came from.
You got Marty Friedman to do a guest spot on the album. How was that arranged?
Um, Marty and I have been friends for like 15 years. I was on his 2014 album Inferno. I sang 3 songs on there. And so it's been that long since then. We haven't really asked him to return the favor until now because I don't think there's been a song that we did. I just didn't want to ask him just 'cause. So we waited till there was the right song. And this was the right song because I know Marty's 2 favorite bands are Kiss and the Ramones, and this is really early Kiss-esque. So he was able to sink his teeth into it. It was great.
He's got the boots too. I seen him live. He's got those big, thick boots like Kiss used to wear.
Yep, he does.
You got a couple other songs out. What You Need, if you want to tell me a little bit about what inspired that song.
What You Need is just a song about us. Lyrically, it's just about our band. And it's like, every album we have different kind of songs in terms of tempo, and it's one of the faster ones. So while we're writing an album, like if we write like 3 mid-tempo songs in a row, it's like JC will be the one who goes, we need a faster song. So that's how we write the album because we want the album to kind of like ebb and flow and not just be like one. So it's a very, very conscious effort to make sure that, oh, there's a mid-tempo song and then there's a fast song and then there's like and a type of anthem type song and then there's like whatever, a song that sounds like the Misfits or whatever. I don't know. Whatever.
I feel like Every Day is Saturday Night is also about the band. It's about rock and roll and it's about good times and it's about forgetting about the world and having a good time.
Sure. Well, yeah, I mean, it is supposed to be the album's anthem, like anthem song, or like, because the last album, Electric Sounds, it had a song called Good Time on it. And Good Time was kind of like a song that I've been personally trying to chase, like the chorus goes, I came here to fuck shit up and have a good time, which was kind of our version of I want to rock and roll all night and party every day, or We Are the Champions, or something like that. Something like that kind of summarizes a feeling that you can say over and over again. So that's kind of what we've tried it on older albums. I just didn't feel like we had achieved it. Um, you can go back to those records and hear them. They're not there. But Good Time, I thought, oh wow, we did it. It took 11 albums to do it. And so um Every Day is Saturday Night on this album is kind of like if we bring it back to Kiss, Kiss followed um Rock and Roll All Night with Shout It Out Loud. It didn't do as well, and it's not seen as as popular as Rock and Roll All Night, but it was their stab to kind of, do it again. So Every Day is Saturday Night is our Shout It Out Loud. And in terms of lyrically, it sounds like a party anthem, Every Day is Saturday Night, but that is actually, I took that line from myself when people will, ask me to come out for whatever, and I just got back from tour. I don't want to go out. I just want peace and quiet. And my response is, well, your Tuesday night is my Saturday night, man. I've had 30 Saturday nights in a row. I don't want to go out this weekend. So in a way, yeah, it is a party anthem, but where it comes from is the opposite of that.
Well, it's almost time for you to go out again. You have a European tour coming up,
Yeah.
starting November 19th, running through December. Last time I looked at the schedule, most of the dates were sold out. That must feel pretty good for you to see that kind of response in a time where finances are a little tight.
Yeah, it's been really Yeah, it's great. It's a we're no complaints from our camp. Um, we're happy. Yeah, this is a tour we're stepping into where we're like, oh, this is going to be a fun tour. Like, it's going to be a lot of people there, and we're going to play, and we're feeling good, especially after the whole summer festival run that we did. So, yeah, it should be a fun tour. Plus, we're taking out Tuck Smith and the Restless Hearts, who we've known for a few years, and he's a he's a great songwriter, singer, and so it's going to be a good package. So, yeah, it'll be fun.
I haven't had a chance to check out Tuck's new stuff, but that first Bitters album was fantastic.
Yep, he's great. He's consistently amazing. So we're a huge fan of everything he does. And it was weird. We were going into like a kind of a band meeting to discuss like openers. And I think an hour, a couple of hours before, like Tuck actually messaged me going, "Hey, if you guys are going on tour, think about taking us out." I'm like, well, I'm going into this meeting. So I threw it out there and everybody was like, yeah. I'm like, well, I messaged him back and I'm like, I think this is going to work. So to him, I think it feels like, yeah, I just asked him and I got on, but it's not, and his timing was what it was. It was timing, as timing is everything. So,
Uh, in a career that spans 29 years, how much of the material from Leo Rising are you going to be able to play live on this European tour?
right. Well, all throughout the summer festival run, we've been doing 3 songs in our set. And now that Diamond in the Rough is released, now we can play that. So it'll probably be 4 songs off the album.
That's a pretty decent amount.
Yeah. Yeah, I think so too.
You just announced a tour of Canada after the European tour, obviously your home country. Do you have any plans beyond the Canada show to go to other territories?
Yeah, we do. I just can't talk about it just yet. But yeah, there's a European tour in the spring being talked about, a certain section of it. And then there's another like continent we're gonna go to and hopefully around the same time in the spring. So, but I can't say it because that would be kind of announcing it.
I understand.
Right.
We talked about Marty Friedman's appearance on your album. You also made an appearance earlier this year on DIRKSHNEIDER's Balls to the Wall Reloaded release. You covered
Oh yeah.
"Turn Me On."
Yeah.
How did that opportunity come about for you?
I don't know, Dirk. I mean, I've met him at festivals, but I don't think he remembers me. I think it was just in passing. So we've never really spoken. I think it came through from the label. I think we're on the same label. He's on Raining Phoenix, he's not on Perception, but Raining Phoenix, it's kind of like it's like the Raining Phoenix. We're on Perception, which is
Right.
kind of like the baby label of Raining Phoenix. Anyways, whatever. So yeah, it was from the label. I mean, I said yeah because I'm like, why not? Like I loved Metal Heart growing up by Accept, and of course Balls to the Wall. But yeah. I mean, I think everybody wanted to sing Balls to the Wall, but you can only get one singer. Plus, all the people on it were pretty cool, like Doro and Mille from Creator. So it was yeah, a lot of cool people. So
Do you get asked to do stuff like that on a regular basis?
yeah, like I mean, I was on Marty's Inferno album in 2014. I'm on the Volbeat, a couple of Volbeat albums ago. I was on a track. Um, yeah, like Nashville Pussy. I don't know, like yeah, get asked to sing every now and then.
Next year is the 30th anniversary of Danko Jones. I've talked to you before. You're not big on nostalgia per se. You want to
Yeah,
look forward. Would you
yeah.
do anything to commemorate 30 years of the band?
Like we're almost there. Like we're 2 months out from the 30th year, and there hasn't been one discussion about it. And I think it's because when we hit the 25th year, we were discussing about it in the 24th year. And then when that came, nothing like big deal. It was not a big deal. And so, like, who cares now? I don't care. I really don't want to celebrate that. I just want to like just move forward. Yeah, I don't really like. yeah, okay, like 30 years, but like we haven't sold a million copies of any album. Like, what's there to celebrate? The only thing to celebrate is that we're just still able to do this, which is a huge win, but still, it's just whatever.
So in the span of the last 29, almost 30 years, what would you say was the high point for you in your career so far?
Yeah, I honestly, it sounds really like a cop out, but like to answer as an answer, but it's like being able to stay the course and be consistent with 12 albums under our belt. That is really the biggest success story. I can mean, there's moments where you're like you want to pinch yourself, those kinds of moments, but yeah, whatever. The bigger picture is being able to like I mean, if I told myself, when we started that you're 30 years in, you're still going to be doing this full time and more like full time than you are even now, I wouldn't have believed it. So it's great that that's really the biggest, I think, success or biggest achievement of this band, being able to do it at the level we're at, never signing any kind of huge record deal and still being able to do it.
That's not a cop out at all.
Yeah, I mean, I think you want a juicy story where it was like, oh yeah, man, I hung out with like Bono and we played in Lenny Kravitz's basement with Ringo Starr. Like, I don't know, that even if that happened, which it didn't, I mean, it would still be the 12 albums that we've been able to put out.
So before I let you go, how did you come to adopt the moniker Danko Jones, not only as your stage name, but also the band name?
Yeah, the band it gets confusing. It's kind of like Bon Jovi at this point. It's confusing, but um it was because at the time we were a garage punk band, and in the scene, it was every band was called like the Gories, the Blues Explosion, the Oblivions, the Makers, the Smugglers. There was just so many the bands, the New Bomb Turks. I mean, they don't have the there, but there was the New Bomb Turks. So there was all these bands that we loved, but also wanted to distinguish ourselves, or I wanted to distinguish us from that. And so it was, I didn't even see it as a band because I asked JC to join my thing. If I guess we were to do it again, we would present more as a band because that's what we are. Behind the scenes, it is a band. It's a democracy, sometimes frustratingly so, but it is, and that's just how we operate, and it's really how we've been able to stay a band. So I think we're more of a band than our name gives off, and people know or people think.
Could have went with the Danko Jones.
Could have, and man, now that I hear you say it, damn it.
Well, those are all the questions I have for you today. The new album is Leo Rising. It comes out November 21st on Perception. Great, another great album by you, and I want to thank you for taking the time to tell me more about it today.
Thanks a lot, man.